So the maps that came out are horrible. Here's the old 5th district, and here's kind of the new one. We talked about it a little bit last week, but basically what these maps do is they split the south side of Oklahoma City. So just doing, here, I'll click on it again, this teeny little cutout in the south part of Oklahoma City. So, like, again, here's the old map, little cutout that's mostly Tinker Air Force Base, so not a lot of population. But they cut out the southwest corner of Oklahoma County and split it into the district that goes all the way to the Panhandle, which is Frank Lucas, and then add a bigger chunk. Still includes Tinker, but now includes some of like Midwest City and the eastern part of South Oklahoma City, and add it to Tom Cole's district. That allows them to not only keep Pottawatomie and Seminole County in the 5th District, but add all of Lincoln County, half of Logan County, and half of Canadian County, which is a ton of people. Like, that's a decent population. All to get this teeny little corner. So, like, basically 100 and some thousand Hispanic votes get split between two districts, and that allows them to add, 100,000 white people back to the 5th District and make it a fortress for Republicans. Like, now it's like goes from being an R, almost like R+7 or R+9 district, which is flippable in a certain election, to like an R+20 district, which makes it not remotely competitive. But it's all around the basis of race. Like, their pitch to Hispanic voters is to split them between two different congressional districts and make all the districts in the state much, much wider. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing. That is the magic. They aren't winning on their ideas. They're merely picking their voters. And so, people not politicians have been putting out a lot of stuff. They were initially going to do a ballot measure, but didn't make it on the ballot in time. But anyway, it's really disingenuous kind of what the Republicans have been saying about this, because they will act like that isn't what they were trying to do. And, based on census data, based on repeated analysis of that, I mean, that's what they did. And so you've diluted Hispanic votes, which is really unfortunate, because while I get people's frustration with the Democratic Party, like, they are a key constituency of keeping Democrats in elected office. And Republicans, I mean, they just run a xenophobic campaign against them every year. It's a caravan or a border crisis, or, some hysterics about brown people at the southern border. And like, that's no good. That's not the country we should want to be. That's not, I mean, it just allows a lot of people to talk out both sides of their mouth. David Holt will talk about how diverse our city is and how great that is, but then he'll say nothing about how his party is redistricting folks to dilute their power and splitting communities of interest apart, so that they don't have as big a voice in Congress. And, there's a lot of frustration with the Dems right now, which is 100% understandable. They can't get immigration reform. They can't get a pathway to citizenship. I mean, like, they just keep failing at all of their promises. So, it's a two-pronged thing. You got to address the racism of the Republican Party, and then you have to deliver the goods and do something. But all these issues are related. But ultimately, I think racism underpins a whole hell of a lot of it, and classism, because, again, having vulnerable Latino voters and Hispanic voters, immigrants, undocumented immigrants, is good for some businesses. So, having people that are easy to exploit, who can't avail themselves of legal recourse, who don't get all the benefits of being a citizen here, it makes it easier to hire them at extremely low wages and for jobs that are more challenging. And so we've got to end that. We've got to find ways to push back on that, and fixing our horribly racist and broken immigration system would be a good way. But again, doing things like this helps both. It helps the corporate Dems not do anything, and it helps, and it obviously is just going to, in this case, probably keep Republicans elected in Oklahoma for the next decade in our congressional seats. Kendra Horn spoke out. It's just gerrymandering, straight up. But my hope is that Hispanic and Latino leaders will speak up, because they're going after you. This is who this is targeted at. They did not try to break up the east side of Oklahoma City, and I think that's very telling. That is my take on that. But these next couple years are gonna be, or the next year, God, 2022 is next year. It's gonna be rough. Like, we need to get some things done and figure out how to push back against this stuff. Thanks for watching our video. Please give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more content. If you want to engage with us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram.